You know what's interesting? People talk about unemployment as if it's only about money. And don't get me wrong, money matters. Bills matter, groceries matter, transport matters. Being able to take care of yourself matters. But lately, I've been thinking, maybe the hardest part about unemployment isn't financial. Maybe it's psychological. Because nobody really talks about what happens to your mind after you've sent your 10th application, or your 20th, or your 50th, or your 100th. Nobody talks about how a simple email notification can suddenly make your heart race. Nobody talks about how you check your inbox before you've even brushed your teeth. Nobody talks about how hope slowly changes shape. At first, you're excited. You tell yourself something will come. I just need to be patient. It's only a matter of time. And for a while, you believe it. Then weeks pass. Then months pass. And eventually, something starts changing. Not in your CV, not in your qualifications, not in your experience, in you. You begin to doubt yourself. And I think that's the part people underestimate. Because unemployment doesn't just affect your bank account. It affects your confidence. It affects the way you see yourself. It affects the way you walk into a room. It affects the way you answer simple questions. Questions like, so, what are you doing these days? A question that sounds harmless. But on the wrong day, it can feel like a punch to the stomach. Because now you have to explain yourself. You have to explain that you are trying. You have to explain that you are applying. You have to explain that you're not sitting around doing nothing. You have to explain that you are not lazy. And after a while, you get tired of explaining. Then comes the comparison. And if we are being honest, social media doesn't help. Every time you open your phone, somebody is celebrating something. A promotion, a new car, a new apartment, a graduation, an engagement, a new opportunity, and you're happy for them. At least you try to be. But if we are being completely honest, a small part of you starts asking, when is it going to be my turn? And that's where unemployment becomes dangerous. Because it starts convincing you that everyone is moving forward except you. It starts convincing you that you're behind. It starts convincing you that you've somehow failed at life. Even when that's not true. And then there's the shame. The quiet shame nobody talks about. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because society has a way of attaching worth to productivity. People respect busy people. People celebrate successful people. People admire people who seem to have everything figured out. But what happens when you are still figuring things out? What happens when you're trying your best and it still isn't enough? What happens when your effort isn't producing visible results? That's where shame starts creeping in. And the scary thing about shame is that it likes isolation. You stop going out. You stop answering messages. You stop attending certain events. You avoid certain conversations. Not because you don't care, because you're tired. Emotionally tired. And then there's something else. Time. A lot of it. One of the strangest things about unemployment is how much time it gives you. At first, it sounds like a gift, until you realize that too much time means too much thinking. You start replaying old mistakes. You start wondering where you chose the wrong degree. You start wondering whether you should have taken a different path. You start wondering whether everyone else knows something you don't. And before you know it, your thoughts become louder than reality. Relationships become harder too. Friendships, family relationships, dating, all of it. Because unemployment has a way of making people feel like they have nothing to offer. You start feeling guilty when people spend money on you. You start declining invitations. You start pulling away, not because you want to, but because you are trying to protect yourself. And sometimes, without realizing it, you end up isolating yourself from the very people who care about you. But here's something I wish more people understood. Being unemployed is not the same as being worthless. Read that again. Being unemployed is not the same as being worthless. Being unemployed is not the same thing as being worthless. A difficult job market is not proof that you are a failure. A delayed opportunity is not proof that you're incapable. And silence from employers is not proof that you have no value. Sometimes life is genuinely difficult. Sometimes the economy is genuinely difficult. Sometimes opportunities genuinely take longer than expected. And none of those things automatically say anything about your worth as a person. So, if you are listening to this while waiting for a phone call, waiting for an interview, waiting for a response, waiting for a breakthrough. I want you to remember this. Your current situation is a chapter, not your identity. You are more than your employment status. You are more than your income. You are more than your latest rejection. And even if it doesn't feel like it today, your story is still moving. Even when it feels stuck. This is the calm spiral, where quiet struggles find a voice. And if you've ever sent applications into the void and wondered whether anyone sees your effort, you are not alone. I'll see you in the next spiral.